Allora, blading chats. Yo, what's up, Leon? Yeah, let's wait for the people to tune in, and then we can start.
Ciao amici.
Oh, Stephanie's here as well. Damn, everybody's in here. What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Yeah, I see like no Italians here, so I'm about to make the intro for Leon right now in English. Leon is a good friend, a homie from London, a living legend. He has been skating in London since forever. Like, yeah, he's like one of those pillar of the UK blading scene, and I'm so proud to have it here as a guest on this blading chat. And we are going to talk about the actual situation in London, about this COVID-19, what is going on in the whole UK, and yeah, and much more. My cats are running around. Oh yeah, perfect. Okay, then we can start it. Let's wait to tune in for Leon.
Hey man.
Yo, what's up?
All good, man. How are you? How you doing?
Fine. Good to see you. Good to hear from you.
And you too, man. And that intro is very kind, very warm. And
No. It's not.
thanks for saying.
No. Coming from the heart, and I do think it's the truth.
Well, yeah, I think there's probably a lot of things from the heart that are necessary now, and the truth, all of that. You know, we're having to learn a lot about ourselves in this moment. So
True. So, how's life in general? Everything's fine?
Well, I think a lot of things have been thrown turned upside down, I guess. The situation as it is, so widespread, so destructive, and obviously like the sanctions that have been needed to be put in place have created a very different sort of situation for everybody. So, you know, my heart goes out, I guess, to everybody, but you know, it's also a case of having to try and remain consistent in other aspects of life as well. I mean, I'm at work, and I know some people have to be at work at the moment too, and some people cannot work, and you know, it's dark, man. But I think, yeah, I mean, as it is, we've had some sunny days over the past couple of days. The weather's been nice, so people enjoying the garden, I guess.
Awesome. At least that.
I've got a garden. You know,
Oh,
the house that I live in, we have a garden, and I live with good friends of mine who and who are really cool. So, you know, actually spending that kind of time so far has been chilled and been nice. So
awesome.
can't complain. I mean, what about I mean, I know that there's a lot of dark stuff that's been happening around you.
It is.
What has life been like for you, Jason, over the past and weeks?
To be honest with you, like I would say, like millions of times to the other guys, like we completely underestimate the fact that of this contagious thing. So like the very first like the weekend before the very first like day of quarantine, we were like everybody in the park. We were like, because like it was like perfect like spring day, so we were like everybody in there having like a good time in parks, skating a lot, or like doing a lot of stuff. And like my wife just passed by, and then like all of a sudden, like after 10, 14 days, all of those people infected pops out like mushrooms everywhere, like and especially in the cities like Bergamo and Brescia, where like all of those huge number of deaths are coming from. They've been hit so bad by it, and yeah. But here where I'm living, it's quite chill. I mean, it's like a small town, quite outside the city of Milan. So it's like I'm fortunate enough to skate because I'm able to skate under my garage. I built like a P rail and a box. So as far as I can skate, then I can work out. I'm fine. So
Yeah.
um,
And I know there's a lot of so yeah, man. Thanks for saying that. I mean, we've all seen the kind of news reports from Italy and the really alarming sort of situation there. And yeah, it's been, I suppose, quite a big reason why people have had to take this really seriously.
yeah, it is. It is. We all have like I was saying, I was the very first one who's like, nothing, it's just the flu, whatever. Like, it's not gonna bother me. It's fine. It will be like a couple of sneezes and I'm good. But then when I've seen people like close to me getting infected and people that I know who lost like relatives or friends and stuff like old friends, of course. But I was like starting to realizing, damn, this is like a huge deal and something that we all need to take care of, especially for our parents, because like most of the people who get like in a dangerous situation are like plus 60. So yeah.
It's like we're gonna be fine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
If me,
exactly.
well, for the most part, our chances of just having very, very minor symptom, that's what's going to happen to us. And the thing is our activity, and in big cities like in London, where we're usually standing shoulder to shoulder, it's the transmission of this virus, like it's been seen in New York at the moment, can be
Hmm.
very rapid. And the culture in London has found it quite difficult to take on board that you're having to really make like personal sacrifices, that of privileges that you had, that everybody had privileges, even going out skating is a privilege, just going out, walking around, being part of a society where things are actually quite easy to come by. Like, people in a way have lost sight of that. And when we've discovered this situation, it's taken quite a few days, maybe over a few days, maybe a week or so now, for people to start maybe changing their behavior a little bit.
Hmm. Hmm.
Going out for a skate obviously isn't even an option. I mean, obviously nothing's an option in terms of like physical activity outside. So I know a lot of people sort of back here, a lot of people have been trying to find, because what we've been advised to do in London is we're allowed to like kind of go out for a walk
Hmm.
or like form of exercise in the day. But I suppose there's been this kind of situation where, maybe people could think, oh, it would be okay to just go for a little, do a few grinds on that thing there, and so on and so forth. And it's really tough for everybody because they've got to give up privileges and things that they enjoy and things that they love. But the implication is that you go out skating, you get fucked up, you get hurt, you end up in the emergency department, you end up taking a bed space, for somebody who,
Exactly.
and that's literally what the deal is. And, I work in the NHS, so I sometimes go into hospitals working with mental health, and I have some, basic understanding of what that need is going to be at those departments. Because, I have colleagues and whatnot who are actually dealing with people who have got this and who are trying to recover from it. So, yeah, it feels like a bit of a game changer. I mean, it's a big feeling. It's a game changer right now, I think,
Hmm.
in
Yeah.
London, feels like.
No, no, I would say it's the same situation all over the world because here in Milan, for example, the five hospital that we do have almost finished all the beds into their intensive care, and they are building on abandoned, like I wouldn't say on an abandoned construction site, but like something similar to that, 500 plus
Mm.
emergency bed for for those people, and as well as in Bergamo and in Brescia. And I don't know if you've seen it, but like in Madrid, the situation is like even worse. There are like
Yeah.
people lying into the hospital on the ground because there are no beds, and they were like unprepared to that, and that's pretty intense. And
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I know it's dark. I heard of some like horror movie stuff, going on in Spain because they
mm-mm,
couldn't take care of the bodies, and it's
Madonna.
dark, man. And like even like over a week ago, there was the situation where there was drones like telling people to go inside, and at
Hmm.
the same time over here in London, people are just still like doing what they were doing. So it took some time for the culture to like understand
Understand, like
what the hell this actually is. This is a game changer, for your
true.
mind, for how you think and how you behave. I think. I mean, you're having to like spend a lot of time on your own. You're having to spend a lot of time examining, yourself and what you're about. And I think, yeah, we're not used to doing that, and that's something that we're going to have to get bloody used to, like now. And look after each other because that's what our parents depend on. That's what the vulnerable depend on, is just us taking those decisions, just sacrifice what we love to do and what we all really, really want to be going to do, but are essentially privileges. And now we're going to see. And if we get out the other side, which we will, if we do the right things, and
Exactly.
I think with all of my friends and with everybody who's close to me, that's the kind of thing that we're discussing together. Like, that's what we have to do. That's what has to be done. And we kind of got to hold it down for each other. Otherwise we're fucked,
Man,
you
thank
know?
you so much for saying that because it's I really can tell it was pretty deep, and it was pretty intense. Yeah, thank you so much for.
I went off on I went off on a COVID rant, but
No, no, no. It was like the truth, and like it it has to be like what we all have to do. Like try to stay as much as we can inside of our houses. Like wash our hands and like try to not to get like any contact with like old people and.
yeah, 100%. That's it. It's just some simple things that we got to do, and we've just got to like put up with it, and it might actually be for our benefit, like for everyone's benefit, that something like this has
Mhm.
actually, because it is gonna like it's gonna shift what we're doing a little bit and how we're doing it, I hope. So there is like I mean, you know there is a silver lining, which means there is something positive to come of this eventually. But try telling that to all of the people who've lost loved ones here. It sucks, it's fucked up. But
True, true.
man, I mean, can't wait to like get the skates back on.
I bet, man, I bet, really bet.
It'll be good. Yeah, I spent some time like on the computer a little bit, and we had some footage to edit with.
Oh,
So
perfect. Something from
so
Bank coming out.
yeah, new one. Yeah,
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
yeah. Soon, because we were getting busy, over the past few months. Um, and Johnny Lee recently moved in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's an extra sort of drive to be out and filming and getting involved with new projects and thinking about what we're going to do. So there's some footage. We're going to get on the computers and look at the clips and maybe edit some things together. There's projects in our house that we're going to,
Awesome.
and it's just, yeah, miss skating already, but
Yeah, I bet, I bet. That is why I've built my box, my period. It was like the very first thing that I've done, like when the our like prime minister said, "All right, guys, from tomorrow quarantine," was like to build like a proper like small PRL But then when he said, because like there were like a lot of people in the streets for the first like 10 days or something, he was like increasing the days of the quarantine. And I was like, okay, I need to buy, I need to like to build a proper skate box. So at least I can skate like 30, 45 minutes per day whenever I wanted to. I will put them in the garage. Nobody will get bothered by that. And so yeah, that's what I did. And because I
Yeah,
really needed it for my mind.
yeah, you're gonna come out at the end of this looking really sharp, and everybody's gonna come out of this looking sketchy as fuck.
No, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try at least.
Like just way sicker than before COVID.
I hope. I hope. But listen, tell me, was like I've been like a couple of times in London, and it always changed because all the time that I come there, I see a new construction site. I saw like new spots and everything, but I also see like a lot of spots getting like busted by skate stoppers or like properly build it within like skate stoppers in it. And what does it
Yeah,
mean to be like a blader in and like a growing as a blader in a city with all of those obstacles, um,
yeah.
blade killer or like
Yeah, it's, you know what, like it's okay with me. And you know, I may not have said that like 10 years ago, you know, maybe a long time ago where we used to go to the same spots. And maybe the way that we skated was a little bit more conventional, which means that, you know, we weren't really looking for an awful lot of things other than ledges and rails. So, you know, when those spots started getting capped some years ago, the spots that were legendary spots, spots that we loved, that we went to over and over again, because we wanted to get that good feeling from a spot, you know, and what better spot to go to than the spot, you know, the one that you love. But eventually, you know, those spots were taken away. I mean, I could think of a bunch of them already. And, you know, that sucked at the time because you're thinking, oh my God, you know, where am I going to be left to skate? You know, what am I going to be left to do? But the thing is, I mean, I'm glad the way that we skate, you know, I'm so, when I look back on the whole London scene and the way that we've always viewed the city, we've appreciated that certain spots are going to get taken away. And because there's a big, like, I suppose, like, economically advanced city center. So there's a lot of money that could get invested in these skate stoppers and so on and so forth, you know. And as you were saying, like they build spots with the caps in them now. But the way that I see it is our vision of skating in London, they're forcing us to be more creative and about different disciplines and different techniques and styles like within skating. And it's also about, like, I mean, London's our home, like it's where we've grown up skating. We have a very close like relationship from the ground up from when we were kids to being in London. So you won't take that from us, you know, you won't take that from me, you know, because I'll find what I need to find in this city because it's where I live, it's my home. So I think like I welcome, if you want to cap stuff, usually you're highlighting the fact that there's a spot there. If you're capping it, you're like, we got spots, but you know, we don't want you here. But you know, if you've put the caps down, to me, you're telling me there's a spot here. You may have capped the wrong thing. That's the other thing. Sometimes they cap the wrong thing. They don't cap the end of the ledge. You got to cap the inside of the ledge. You know, you can't get away with that. You know, so
awesome.
yeah, man, that's how I feel. I welcome it. You want to cap stuff? That's cool. I'll never run out of spots ever in a million years. Never will.
Dude,
How's
that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, no doubt. I mean, what about? I mean, I've been to Rome and I brought my skates to Rome.
Okay. And did you skate
Um,
it in Rome or not?
I did, but I pretty much skated. I was with my partner and a friend and two friends of ours. One
Mm-hmm.
of which, my friend D, and we had like bigger wheels. I don't think I even took an aggressive setup with me. I just took some Solomon's ST originals with some 80 mil freestyle frames, and we went out for a few skates. I remember there was this just through by the river in Rome. I mean, which river is that? I'm so shit.
Tevere.
The Danube? No.
Tevere, Tevere. It's called a Tevere. I don't know the word in English about it. Let me just Google it. But yeah, which is like the Tevere in English. Tiber is it called?
That's the one. Yeah, we skated along the river, and
Mm.
you know, along most rivers there are cool spots, and we found a bank, and there were some other cool things, but I didn't really get the, you know, I haven't got the sense of what it's like to go street skating like where you are, and have, because it seems like an older infrastructure. A lot of old, I mean, London has old buildings as well, but I suppose like what's it like for you? Are lots of things capped and taken away?
No, not at all. No, nothing. Like the only rail that I ever like the only rail that has been kept here in Milan. It wasn't even here in Milan. It was like in a small village outside of the city, and it's pretty much it. Like we are pretty cool with that. Probably because like most of the people who's skating those obstacles are bladers, and like we aren't like bothering old people or like the city or something like that where we are going to skate, because usually uh, from what I've seen in skateboarding videos or BMXing videos, they're like skating big spots and stuff like that, and they all the time creating problems with the securities or those kind of stuff. And that is why, probably in my opinion, the city hall, for example, in London or in New York or stuff like that, are all the time doing like building skate spots into the spots because they want to avoid that thing, in my opinion. But in here in Milan, just because we are, I wouldn't say kind, but we're kind of friendly, and we are not making any noise and stuff like that, and they are not like used to see blades on stuff. They are fine. So that is why I think probably we have like I've literally like never seen any spot kept here in Milano.
Damn, that's really cool, man. I mean, yeah, I could literally list so many spots that got capped, that got taken. Like when we rolled up to the spot, and you're like, oh my god, they capped it. Oh my god, what have they
Which
done?
is, it should be like the worst feeling ever, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, like a heartbreaker. Like, oh,
yeah.
what have you done? But it's just, I can't. Yeah, I think in the last few years, I've really kind of thought about how it just doesn't matter to me. Like if you cap things, there's nothing that I'm like saving in my mind to go back there again. You know, if it gets capped, it's capped. That's okay. You know, there's lots and lots of spots. I mean, the city's massive. You know, it's like 50 square miles or something. You know, it's absolutely humongous.
And
Um,
I can see it from all of the street part that you're popping out. Like it's crazy because like video after video after video, you're skating the same city, but it never looks the same. It always looks different, and always like you guys are able to find new spots, new thing to do, and it's pretty crazy to see how you guys are able to take in as an advantage, and like making your way of skating in like in an evolution, besides like instead of like you see like all of these spots getting capped and you lose the motivation and stuff like that, like you were saying before, you're getting like inspiration from that, and it's pretty cool actually. And I would love to have that kind of inspiration.
well, yeah, man. I mean, thank you for saying that, and that's a good way to say that for sure. Like, it's almost like we've got you know, we've got people, like all of our friends are dotted around the different areas of London. So it's almost like we've just got like agents everywhere in London, open shit all the time. Like people are on the job, people are in their car, people are skating on big wheels, and then taking a photograph of a spot is pretty easy. Like bang, done. Got the location. Let's explore this area. And it is. It's just it's adventurous. It's exciting. It gives an excitement to the morning before we meet up on the Saturdays. And we know that we always need to explore. And if we're filming, for the most part, like the end product, whatever video it is that we're working on, we know that it's going to look better, feel better, and sell the adventure of being in London better if we're going to new spots,
Hmm.
and exploring. And that, yeah, I think everybody's just, they think like that. you know, most of the guys who are skating at the high level here, who are filming and who are interested in doing that, that's kind of how they're thinking. So, you know, it's yeah, man, it's definitely credit to the scene. You know, I love it. It's sick, man. We'll have to resume later on this summer at some point.
Exactly. We have to. We definitely have to.
Yeah, we'll do it, man.
We
And then
do have also a question here from Marky, which is like a Mexican friend who lives here in Milano. Which skaters do you consider can truly encompass London blading? In my opinion, you. But that.
well, but I would say so. That's it's a cool question. And recently, we've had some of the almost oldest generation of London street skaters really come back into the scene and start skating and producing videos and also starting a company as well. Like Jason Odie and Paul O'Toole and Charlie Lockyer, these guys, they're guys who are in London skating like back in the 90s, in the mid 90s.
Wow.
You know? This is the first generation or second generation of skaters in London. So, you know, those guys, you know, they've come back in, you know, to kind of skating in London, you know?
Wow.
Which is pretty bloody cool. What does that mean after all of these years, these like legendary like London street skaters, like however which way they have discovered that the scene kept evolving, that we kept doing it, that we never stopped, that we kept, you know, whatever, pushing the boundaries and developing ourselves and skating street. But these guys had like, you know, Paul O'Toole, who one of the guys was talking about, he was in California Dreaming, like he was in BG, he was in, he had like loads of legendary adverts, he was sponsored by K2, you know, and so like he's back skating like now. It's wild. So, you know, my influence is like, and who embodies like that kind of like, if there are a few people, you know, the fact that these older generation guys have come back in and started skating fresh gives me so much inspiration, like so much. I mean, you know, I'll look at DNA magazine, which is like one of the UK's like best like publications ever, you know, and there's a lot of London stuff in there. And it's almost like I can draw inspiration from like a single photograph. Like Barry Reed is a guy, London skater, Barry Reed. Everything that you ever saw of him, whether it was a photograph or a video clip, was just so London, like just imprinted on your mind, you know, and I want to sort of use some of that attitude, you know, like it's like the picture, the image of it stays with you. So, I mean, you know, if who's skating now, it's obviously everybody who I skate with now, everybody you see in the bank videos, like that's what's up. Everybody you see skating with John and filming with John, that's what's up, you know, like all of the homies in the bank shit, these guys are like they're just ride or die, you know, they're just down for it. So
Awesome.
the most inspiration from them right now, you know.
Great. And what about Bank? What is Bank? Like is like your project is going to be like a clothing company or crew company, like a crew thing, or
yeah, it's like basically I think I wanted to take responsibility and produce skate videos. Like even when I was much younger, watching Video Groove, doing, you know, being a younger skater, I always dreamt of being able to like make skate videos. Always dreamt of chopping like tunes that I thought were sick to like sick skating. So I messed around with some editing when I was much younger, and I always had a camera, so I was always filming. But I never like took the full responsibility to take it to the next level and actually create what I envisaged skating to be, you know, whatever that was. And obviously who's around me is a big part of that. My close friends are a big part of that. But as I said, you know, I never developed, you know, like editing skills. I just didn't learn certain things about setting the camera up. You could probably still say, you know, sometimes your camera's not set up well, but I'm learning still. But I suppose like I wanted to start making legit skate videos. I wanted to start doing something that represented this depth of creativity, of commitment that we have in London. And, you know, I wanted to have a platform to do that from, that spoke, that's sort of related to one of like the things that I suppose is legendary in London is it's a meeting spot. That's what Bank is. It's the center of London. It's a meeting spot. It's I guess the idea of meeting at Bank is something very, very important now, because we can't go and do that. So it's a feeling, you know, getting to Bank at one is what we used to say. And
Because they've kept the spot, or
no, it's still there. I mean, we could, well, actually, there's little ledges there that are capped, but you could still go there and have a session. And it's a central it's right in the middle of London, like right dead in the center of the economic district of London. So a lot of legendary spots all around there. You could say that was like this era where we were just like in that tiny little central bit of London. So, you know, Bank ends up being like having these multiple kind of meanings, you know, like, you know, you could read into it in other ways if you want what Bank means, you know, there's lots of meanings, but I think, you know, just sort of settled on that. And, you know, I have good friends who are creative people involved with me, involved in their own projects, professionals in their own art forms, whether that's photography or videography, who, you know, together we've been representing and documenting what happens in London with the skating and other things. So it made sense to just build on that and use that as a springboard to create. And, you know, I just, yeah, like I'm obsessed with it, you know, so I kind of wanted a platform that wasn't just me, like it was all of us together on what we're doing here and just creating some cool content, you know, inspiration for people to watch and to enjoy and to just, yeah, dig skating and dig their lives, you know, go and explore whatever, you know. So yeah, that's kind of, I mean, I guess that's as best as I could describe it, you know. Will
yeah,
it
I can
be,
feel it.
yeah, and I definitely want to just get off my arse and do more things. Certainly create another line of clothing. Like I've got a couple of ideas that would be pretty cool, that, you know, those who know me know what some of those ideas are. I think, yeah, more videos, obviously. Yeah, man. Maybe like, yeah, there's some other things that I've been thinking about as well. Like things like what we're doing right now are like, they're important mediums of, I don't know, of skating. You know, discussions and just putting out there what we're thinking, feeling about what it is that we do, you know, why it's important to do that, you know, whatever, you know. So maybe there's a podcast. I don't know, man. There's lots of things for us to think about, you know, but we've got the time to think about it now.
Exactly. True. But like after Devotion, which is like if you guys, I do think like all of the people are here right now have bought it. If not, just go there and buy it. It's like 18 minutes full of like tough and pretty cool, amazing tricks. I already told it to you. It's like a properly masterpiece, I do say. Is there anything coming out from you like in a year or something like that, like a new profile or something going on from you?
Well, I mean, you know, who knows what the future holds, but I'm always, so dude, thank you by
No,
the
no,
way.
no.
Thank
It's like
you.
I'm a fan, and you already know it. But yeah, I mean,
Thanks, man. Yeah, I really appreciate you saying that. And yeah, it will be out actually. No need to be looking for that. We're actually looking at putting that out on YouTube pretty soon. We're, you know, dealing with all of this other shit, you know, but probably going to put that on YouTube like really soon. But yeah, I guess one of the things about like Johnny moving back in here to this house, to the house that we live in, which is my room here. And there's the, you know, there's where magic happens.
oh, perfect, awesome.
Yeah, one of the reasons that we decided to do this was specifically to work on projects, to work on films, to work on skating, and just to put our minds together and think, you know, what are we going to do over the next few years that's just going to be fucking badass, and that's going to do ourselves justice, you know. And, you know, other projects like Vanilla with Alex, Sober, obviously now Devotion, Sweet Shin Music with James, you know, and basically all of the other projects with James. You know, we want to work on things over the next few years. So, I mean, what, you know, what does that mean? Well, we're going to get to work as soon as we can. And I think when we get back to it, it's going to be an absolute massive relief and a massive like exhalation. And then we're going to get to it. We're going to get to fucking work, you know, and we're going to really, yeah, I don't know. Things are going to be different.
True.
So, I mean, we're just going to get to the next level. I think that's what we're always looking to do.
Perfect. Yeah. So right now it's already like past more than a half an hour. So Leon, I would like to really thank you for your time, for giving us like the perspective of what is going on right now in London, and thank you so much for this chat, and again for your time and everything.
Thank Jason. Thank you for reaching out and for inviting me to do this. It was really cool, and just good to hear from you. And I appreciate all of the kind words, and safe to everybody who checked in, and just peace, and just, you know, everybody, you know, stay chilled, we'll get through this, you know, and just do the right things, you know, do the right things. You know what to do, so do the right thing.
So guys, keep on listening to what Leon had just said, and thank you so much, Leon. Have a nice evening, and ciao, boss.
Peace. Later.
Later.